Talk more about this Laya Calculator we have on the show, CHR Commissioner Faydah Dumarpa. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Yes, assalamualaikum po. Magandang umaga.
Assalamualaikum. Unang-una, tell us about this Laya Calculator. How does this work? Is this a new app, website? Is this accessible for the public to use? And what is it made of?
Yes, actually, the Laya Calculator is something that we did in partnership with the UNODC, the Australian aid. The intention there is to make the computation of the GCTA or the Good Conduct Time Allowance accessible to everybody. Kasi ang hirap niyang i-compute. The purpose is so that even the relatives of those persons deprived in liberty can calculate it for themselves. Even the PDL himself or herself can do it. Everyone can do it. That's the intention to ensure na tama yung panahon ng detention ng isang PDL habang sila po ay nasa loob ng ating mga places of detention, ma'am.
Okay, and ano po yung calculation na part no formula?
Actually, the formula, this is the technical part, I have to say, ma'am. The technical part of the making or constructing the app is primarily done by the UNODC as the experts, no? The technical work side of it. Ang formula po actually, I cannot tell you how the formula is, but we're following the law, we're following the Mandela rules, and even as a layman or as an ordinary person, nandyan na po kasi siya, you just have to enter the date, the days na yung penalty rather or the period of imprisonment, and then just click on calculate and it's there, no? So kahit po hindi tayo, katulad ko po, as an ordinary person, hindi ako maalam sa math, I can do the calculation.
Miss Faydah? Ayan, wala po
Yes
kayo.
po.
Can you hear me? There you go.
Yes,
Okay.
I can hear you po.
Okay. Yung regarding that formula, no, siguro more of the elements that come into this para mapababa yung sentensya. Kasi for example, kung ako po ay PDL at gusto ko pong makalaya ng mabilis, mahaba yung like sabihin natin 30 years, at pwede ko ba makompute yun na parang gagawa ko ng mabuti, I'll serve this much hours to expedite that release date? At ano po yung mga pwede kong gawin, no, to find hope amid my situation?
That's absolutely possible. Actually, during the launch of the application, as an example, Dr. Toby of UNODC asked us to open the app, and then as an example, we have a PDL na may 40-year sentence, no? So that's 40 years ang haba. After computing the GCTA that may be deducted, no, sa penalty ng isang PDL, for example po, ma'am, would be kung siya po ay nag-aaral, no? Kung siya po ay nagtuturo kasama sa kanyang mga kapwa PDL, and good conduct time allowance as well kung siya po ay mabuti sa loob, no? This can yung po yung mga factors na pwedeng ma-count in. Of course, I have to mention as well, ma'am, kasama po sa pagko-compute yung nakakulong po kayo habang tayo or ang isang PDL habang siya po ay dinidinig sa korte. So for example, during his stay sa detention facility while his case is being heard, no, 6 months, kasama po yun sa computation. So ang 4 years, for example, or reclusion perpetua, with the maximum GCTA that a PDL can receive, pwede po siyang maging 17 years and a few months or days, no? Yung po yung laki nung pwedeng importansya ng GCTA dahil from 40 years, as you can see, more than half yung pwedeng mabawas, at in 17 years pwedeng makalaya ang isang PDL po, ma'am.
Lahat po ba qualified to have their sentence cut short? All crimes?
Yes, ma'am. Under the law, even the severest penalty that can be imposed by our courts, that would be the reclusion perpetua, pwede po, applicable po. Pwede pong mag-avail ang ating mga PDL.
Okay. Medyo malaking bagay po yun, no? From 40 to 17. I wanted to ask because you also said, you also mentioned yung judicial system po natin plays a factor in this Laya Calculator. I know that one of the main problems or major problems of our correctional system is that there is a huge population of within our prisons that are still in the pre-trial stage. Paano naman po sila? Na hindi pa po nasisintensyahan, hindi pa po nako-convict.
Ideally, no, ang ating procedure or ating batas requires po na as soon as ang isang tao ay magiging PDL, pagpasok pa lang halimbawa sa BJMP bilang ang kanyang kaso ay dinidinig pa lang sa korte, kasama na po yung day 1 nun sa pag-calculate ng ating GCTA. Kaya po importante yung correct documentation. Even the hour, ma'am, has to be documented, has to be put there kasi binibilang po pati oras, ma'am.
And then this Laya Calculator or the GCTA, which is Good Conduct Time Allowance, ito po ba could be entered into official records and could be used as basis? Or is this just a tool na pwede lang pong tumulong sa kanila to understand o gagamitin na rin po ito mismo ng correctional system po natin?
At present, our correctional system has their own Laya calculator or the GCTA calculator. No, meron po sila sarili, but based also during the launching, the Bucor acknowledged, and even Dr. Toby of UNADC acknowledged that it is the same formula, as you said, ma'am. No? It is the same formula on how to compute. Our purpose naman for launching this is that so that it can be more transparent and accessible, and so that we encourage our the management of our detention facilities to actually document correctly, no, the hours na i-google po ng isang PDL sa loob para po pwede mong i-check na halimbawa the Bucor would say, oh, ang GCTA mo pa lang 1 year, but you have your own to double check, no, if tama po ang computation nila. So that's one way also of promoting transparency, accessibility po, and of course inclusivity po ng ating mga PDLs.
And speaking of those problems, what led you to come up with this calculator? Help us gain more insight into the situation within our correctional system in our prisons. Ano po ba yung mga pinaka-problema po at ito po ang naisip niyong solusyon?
Ma'am, first, as you said po kanina, no, ang ating congestion rate, no, is general, no, total ng ating mga detention facilities nasa 2,000% po ang ating congestion rate. Ganon po kasikip at kahirap ang situation ng ating mga PDL sa loob. Secondly po, because of the inaccuracy and the lack of records, no. Well, kung karamihan po sa nai-interview namin PDL, we would ask them if they have their own record, no. Wala po sa kanila, and if they request, it takes months, no, to be able to access the records. And we are hoping that with the Laya calculator, with the families even of the PDL being able to access or compute kung kailan makakalaya yung mahal nila sa buhay, it would promote transparency, no, parang mapapabilis po. And of course, sabi ko nga po, inclusivity and yung justice po na dapat po na umaandar sa sistema, even with our PDLs, ay makamit po din nating lahat.
Oo, pero yung problema ko dun sa congestion sa ating correctional system ay marami nga ho ay natatagalan yung pagproseso ng kanilang mga kaso. Hindi pa sila na sentensyahan, hindi pa sila yun nga nabibigyan ng desisyon, pero they spend most of their lives already in prison. Hindi po ba parang pag tinignan po, pag sinama po natin yan dito ay medyo mahihirapan ipababa yung yung sentensya. Paano po 'yun? Hindi po ba unknown figure po 'yun? How exactly do you give an estimate to how long that will go through our judicial system?
Yung time po na spent ng isang PDL while in detention, while being heard before our courts, ideally kasama po yung period na yon, no? As soon as a person is arrested and detained, kasama po yun po yung day one niya. As to the judiciary, kung paano natin ma-incorporate, one of our plans po, with the here at the commission and with our partners hopefully, is that next year po we hope to roll out as well, no, ito pong ating Laya Calculator sa atin pong judiciary, if of course they will allow us to do so. We hope to reach out to them kasi po ang aming isang tinitingnan po would be if it's possible, of course we will of course check with the rules, no, ng ating judiciary, if it's possible na yung ating pong mga sentensya pagbabasahan po ng sakdal ang ating mga PDL, or ang ating akusado rather, na pwede pong nakasama na doon sa decision, no, yung calculation. By calculation I mean that the period, no, na stay ng isang PDL sa detention while the case is being heard. That way po it's on record, it's on the decision, and it's easier again to access the information and easier to compute the GCTA of the PDL, ma'am.
What are some of the best practices that you see abroad? You mentioned nga parang ito nga magkakaroon sila ng access mismo doon sa Laya Calculator para mag-double check po sila, mag-side by side with the Bureau of Corrections. Sa ibang bansa po ba ganun ang siste?
We are not aware po if there is such a similar system, no, sa ibang jurisdiction natin, but one of the best practices po ng ating mga ibang kapitbahay natin or other jurisdictions, other countries, especially po sa mga first world countries, would be the accurate, no, and the complete documentation ng isang PDL. Hindi po mahirap i-compute because they have the complete documentation from day one, from the first hour of the detention of the PDL. Sa atin po, medyo admittedly, based on our monitoring, ma'am, when we go to our detention facilities, yun po yung problema ng mga PDL because sila po mismo na nakakulong, they don't have any information kung nasaan na po sila.
Kung nire-record ba?
Yes.
Oo. So this one ensures somehow the keeping of professional records. So yung
Yes.
pa lang doon pa lang medyo nahuhuli na tayo. I mean, if you take a look at the digitalization rate po sa ating gobyerno, medyo huli naman po talaga tayo. Okay, how will PDLs gain access to this Laya Calculator? Is this going to be given to them? Because alam po natin na may internet po ba yun? May internet ba doon? Paano nyo po ibibigay po yan sa kanila at ipapaintindi?
Yung sa ating pong mga mismong PDL po, yung access po nila, because you need to be online, ma'am. It's available on our website, so there has to be an internet connection. As to the access, we hope to coordinate. This is of course because we have to coordinate with our, for example, Bucor and BJMP at provincial municipal jails, para po magkaroon siguro ng malinaw na guidelines, kasi po may mga rules po rin. We have to respect and acknowledge that there are rules po, no, pagka limited ang liberty ng isang tao. So we have to coordinate with the detention facility management on how an access can be provided sa ating po mga PDLs. And we hope to do this next year, ma'am.
Just to, I guess, provide more concrete examples, how might the likes of Janet Lim Napoles and Sarah Descaya, how might they be able to use this para mapababa yung kanilang sentensya? Si Janet Lim Napoles, I think, reclusion perpetua po sa kanya, at si Sarah Descaya naman, arrest warrant pa lang. But not sure kung ano yung kung gaano kahaba. So kailangan po nilang ano po yung mga pwede nilang gawin para bumaba yung kanilang term.
With the examples po na sinet niyo, ma'am, no, Diskaya and Janet Napoles, similar to any other PDL, yung kanilang as soon as they get detained, day one, part na po yun ng kanilang magiging calculation. Kapag nasentensyahan po, similar po. And of course, if they do, if they're, kumbaga, nag-avail po sila ng good conduct allowance, magturo po sila po ay mag-aral, and other means so that it can be deducted from their sentence, ganun din po, no? Wala pong pagkakaiba. But as to the access, right now, ma'am, sabi ko nga po, we have to coordinate with the management of the detention facilities kung paano makaka-access ang ating mga PDL. But hopefully, they have their family members, they have their lawyers po, na nasa labas, na with the click of a phone, they can access the Laya Calculator and makakalculate po nila ang kanilang possible na paglaya, no? Using the GCTA calculator, ma'am.
Has the Bureau of Corrections expressed openness to working with the CHR on this and actually implementing the Laya Calculator?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, during the launching of this Laya Calculator, we signed our pledge of commitment. We're happy to share to everyone po that very cooperative naman po, very positive po ang response sa amin ng Bucor. And we hope to continue po yung aming maayos na pag-uusap para po sa ating mga PDLs po.
Okay, maraming salamat at tama po kayo. No? I mean, thank you for turning our attention to this problem, the abysmal state of our prisons in the Philippines. We actually have the highest number in Southeast Asia of pre-trial and remand detainees, and second highest in all of Asia. About 5,200 inmates die at the Bilibid prison every year due to overcrowding, disease and violence. Some statistics there to back up yung mga sinabi niyo po kanina, no? But that highlights how much we need to focus on this. Lalong-lalo na, no, in the midst of a flood control probe that is bound to send more to our jails, hopefully. Maraming salamat for your time. We have CHR Commissioner Faydah Dumarpa.